Shalom. As we get into today's show, we will be reminded how important Passover is, how special it is, and how it should be an exciting time with your loved ones, maybe some strangers, to share food. We're going to go over some scriptures. We're going to get into this truth. Today's show is called No Leaven. Right now it is 5:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Georgia Time, USA. So wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining today's show, Real TV. Nevertheless, it is April 18th, 2019, the day before Passover. So, tomorrow evening before sunset, or at the brink of when sunset, is when Passover begins and when we start our feast. We'll get into a little bit of that today, but have you heard about the Notre Dame burning? We're going to talk about that a little bit shortly. But it's funny how the building looks like the building looks, if you look at the photos or if you happen to see the video, the building looks like it's completely burned in some parts. Like a controlled burning. Like the top of the building almost looks like a dish drain rack. I mean, there's nothing left. Like literally. Let alone people are claiming to see Jesus, quote unquote, in the flames during this Notre Dame Cathedral. Was he white or black? Also, Lauren London is back in the news after all the drama and unfortunate circumstance, if you will. She has a upcoming show that's going to be airing on the latter part of this month. There's a preview out, and it reminds you of how it takes something to get something. There's no streets paved with gold in this world, so it isn't so easy to get what you want in Hollywood. With that comes a sacrifice. So we're going to get into a little bit of these things, and most importantly, we're going to talk about that no leaven. As we celebrate this 400 year, it is important that we are reminded of how special it is. So with that being said, here we go, 400. I'll be back in just a moment. You stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. I thought you knew my potential. I'd rather work for y'all than working 9 to 5. We don't want to work for y'all, we get our own job. The way you treat us when you wrong, you know you out of line. The way y'all treat us when you wrong, you know you out of line. Y'all don't love us. Snakes don't love doves. Y'all really love blood. Y'all don't even trust us. Got us cooking in your kitchen, don't trust us. But anyway, see why Jordan Peele made the movie Us. See why he made the movie Get Out. Y'all really want us out. And it's coming out. And we coming up from 400. I hope you really want it. We coming up from 400. And it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. We coming up on 400. And it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. I see your little aggravation. Always trying to start an altercation. Must be your admiration. Always trying to start an accusation. And it's all good. When I saw 11:11, my affirmation, I didn't get so agitated. The Most High led me to you. So hopefully you can know the truth. I'm a sheep and you a damn wolf. And we could care about your damn wall. Acting like you want some Adderall. Acting like you need some tramadol. So radical. Or so radical. We coming up on 400. But it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. We coming up on 400. But it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. Yeah, you know, maybe one day you'll awake. Or maybe you're already awoken. But don't run away from the truth. We need the truth. Don't run away from the truth. Yeah. Hang in there. Run the race all the way to the end. Run the race all the way to the end. Spending money not the only thing we need to do. Giving money to the poor is what we need to do. A lot of lies in this world, but we need the truth. I know you run away, but we need the truth. I know you want to run away, but we need the truth. It's like we living in the cage, living in the zoo. Why you want to run away when we need the truth? Why you want to run away when we need the truth? And we are back. I am your host, Michael Israel, and I thank you again for tuning into today's show. If this is your first time, I want to welcome you. I never want to not give thanks. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening and tuning in. Also, I hope that you were able to watch the last film about the comedian, Incognito. That was a little different, huh? Man, Hollywood, I tell you, there's something else entirely. So, as we move forward into this beautiful Passover week, or Passage in Hebrew, the weather is going to be looking pretty nice. Today, we're actually at a high of 76, and we're going to be a low at 71 in the coastal plains of Georgia. Tomorrow, we have a chance of thunderstorms, a high of 80, and a low at 51. Saturday, we're going to be partly sunny with 69 to high and 50 at the low. So we're still in spring all this week. We're going to be mild at night between low 50s and a high at 62, tapping out on Thursday. But moving on Monday, we're looking at sunny, 81, Sunday, 76, Tuesday, 81, Wednesday, 83. So basically, we're looking at the 80s, nice, good weather. The only chance of rain and thunderstorms will be tomorrow, but you know how it is in the South. If it rains, it's not that long. And with the 80-degree day, it definitely won't be that long. The sun will sop it right up. So we're looking at a beautiful weekend, and I hope you all have some idea of what you want to cook, what you want to prepare. It shouldn't be a burden. If it's your first year, I know it could be a little challenging, maybe a little nerve-wracking because you want to get it just right. And especially once you get into this truth, you know, everything seems like a lie. And you appreciate doing things for the Heavenly Father. If you are questionable about what you should prepare, you know, is it okay to eat chicken? Is it okay to eat fish? You know, we're going to get into that. But you are supposed to have a lamb. There's a particular lamb that you should get. But since we don't have our own farms, we're not farmers, and we don't have the access to get to these things, the Most High knows our heart and our intention. So with that being said, you get what you can as far as the lamb, and you cook it on an open fire. So if you have an electric stove at home, you don't cook it on the stove top. You don't cook it in the oven. If you have a gas grill, you could do that, or a gas oven. you could do that. But you definitely want to cook it on an open flame. Myself, I'm going to do the grill thing, and I'm probably going to do a live video. If you look at the archive, I do have 2 other videos from the previous years. This is going to be the 3rd year. I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to this special event. Now, let's get into not on the mainstream news, and then we'll head into today's show. So, let's see here. Okay. So people claim to see quote-unquote Jesus in flames engulfing the Notre Dame Cathedral. They'll just write anything in the news just to get clickbait, wouldn't they? So here we have it. They're claiming that in this church filled with pedophilia and other situations that they like to suppress from the public, they're now saying that they quote-unquote seen Yeshua walking in the fire here. Oh, pardon me. Let's get that. Hold on 1 second. All right. We don't want to see anything about Pampers. So here we are. They're saying person said when they looked at the photo last night, they was astounded when they saw a silhouette of quote-unquote Jesus, a very vivid image. They felt like it would bring comfort to the people in Paris and all over the world at this sad time. You know, when you put 2 and 2 together, you wonder, why were they taking statues out weeks prior, saying that they were going through renovations? Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard about that, but weeks prior to this burning of this church here, they were moving out statues on the top floor and other parts of the of this church. So, really? All right. Man, it's just full of it, man. And if you did see Jesus in this fire, was he white or black? That's very important because the world has been fooled and bamboozled into believing all their lives that Jesus is blonde hair and blue eye. Yeah, maybe Caesar Borgia really was, but Yeshua, as we know it, has skin of burnished brass, hair like wool. You know, he didn't have a perm. And why is it the pictures that are made of Yeshua have the likeness of a perm with that? I mean, come on, guys. Let's get real here. Let's really get real here. Ah, man. So, also we have it here. A man sprayed with date rape drug called devil's breath was forced to empty his bank account. A tourist had his bank account drained after he was dosed with a substance dubbed the world's scariest drug. Scopolamine is known as the devil's breath and turns people into zombies who will agree to anything before awaking the next day without any memory of what happened. David Nelson, 27 of Bray County, Wicklow, has told of his horrific experience in Tenerife, where he was sprayed in the face with the drug before his attacker took him to an ATM and cleared his bank account. The drugs need only to be blown in the victim's face to overpower them. Man, that's crazy. This is crazy. They had another case that was in South America where a Colombian reported to wake up in an ice bath to find that he had agreed to give his kidney away while in the drug's grasp. So this is pretty crazy here. Man, they're going around blowing powder in people's face. Man, this is terrible. Let alone if they get a dose of this stuff and you know what I mean, slip it in somebody's drink or somebody's baked goods or something. You know what I mean? You mess around and eat food. You know, I mean, that's another thing too. While we're on it, you just can't accept anything from everybody. I know some people have good intentions, but like when I'm at work and somebody's making cupcakes or cookies, man, I'm gonna have to let them cupcakes and cookies stay right there. You know, I don't trust everybody, man. Not everybody wash their hands. You know how many men just leave the bathroom without washing their hands, and they do it number two. Let alone they just go take a piss, you know, and then they just no napkin, no water. They just straight zip and leave the bathroom. Don't even wash their hands. So, with that being said, you know, how can you trust everybody's baked goods? Assuming that they have good practices. Just can't accept food from anybody. Somebody, even if it's an open container, you know, like chicken fingers and fries. You don't know what they did to the fingers or the fries. I don't accept, like, I don't know, man. You just got to be careful. Even with soda drinks and Powerades and Gatorades, you know, all it takes is for someone to poke a needle-sized hole into a drink, flip it upside down, add whatever they have to add into it, and add super glue. People are doing that now. I know it sounds psychotic, but and it really is. People are doing stuff like that. Can't trust it. Even if the seal is broken, you just got to be circumspect, not being able to take risk all the time. Some things you just got to let go. So, police are warning residents after razor blades are found on gas pump handles. I don't know if you heard about that, but in Michigan, police are warning residents to inspect the gas pump handles before using them after someone reported finding razor blades. Police say a razor blade fell from a gas pump handle when a person picked it up. Now police are reminding people to be vigilant and inspect the handles prior to use. Man, this is outrageous. This is outrageous. Man, why would someone want to do that? And then let alone, you imagine if you cut your finger and then get the gasoline in it, how terrible that can be, and get into your blood system and the side effects. It's bad enough that we have to stand there and pump and smell the gas. Have you ever been to a gas pump and you tried to hold your breath until you left, go in the store and pay, and then you come out, you pump the gas? You know, maybe it's just me. You've never like walked past someone on the sidewalk and they're smoking a cigarette or a cigar, or you know they smell bad, they just look weird? I mean, come on, some people look weird. Sometimes we even look weird. They just look weird, and you know they smell stink, and you hold your breath until you walk past them. I know I'm not the only one. Come on now. Come on. But man, this is wild. I remember a few years back, there were needles, literally needles, sewing needles, all over a playground. In the on the slide, in the actual potting area where the children play, all over the playground. Somebody put sewing needles in the playground. Can you believe that? That's insane. So heinous. So, I don't know if you heard about the Facebook drama. If you don't have a Facebook, not on the mainstream news, Facebook posts are under fire. Two Georgia Department of Correction workers allegedly joked about assaulting and abusing inmates as a part of the hashtag Feeling Cute challenge, tearing through Facebook. The tongue-in-cheek challenge requires users to post a self-portrait with a caption saying something to the effect of, "Feeling cute might," quote unquote, and then you insert your action. "Feeling cute might blah 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 later." All right. The challenge has drawn scrutiny to some government employees who've allegedly made insensitive remarks. So here you have it, where a Georgia Department of Correction officer, actually two of them, have said something a little controversial. So one said something along the lines of, feeling cute might shoot your baby daddy today later. What in the world, man? What's up with them? Another one said, feeling cute might put your baby daddy in the shower for 6 hours since we ain't got no beds. But I don't know yet. Man, there's a challenge for everything. Ice challenge, mannequin challenge, cinnamon challenge. It's nothing but a ritual. Just like they got these time lapse of it's like the 10-year challenge. It's nothing but, you have to remember, Facebook and Instagram is nothing but the FBI. FB, Facebook, I for Instagram. The FBI is nothing but relations, CIA and FBI keeping tabs on you. So when you got the 10-year challenge going on, all they want to do is get an up-to-date photo of you, and you're falling for the okie doke. But hey, it is what it is. Not on the mainstream news, an Ohio church is apologizing after associate pastor asked students to spit on him, slap him, and cut him with a knife during an Easter lesson on the crucifixion of quote-unquote Jesus. The lesson, which was filmed by a student and shared on social media, took place during an after-school program. Man, they even have this on video. Wow. But that just goes back to Scripture. The Most High is not mocked. And his son, Yeshua, is not mocked. So why is it that Easter alone is paganistic as it is? So you have a lie where they teaching you to nonchalantly serve pagan gods. And then on the other hand, they have you celebrating the death of Yeshua by mocking him. And with this church, you have this pastor. See, why is it that since it seems so outrageous that it's now getting the news, but it's been outrageous. The children shouldn't even be playing a part. Who can play the part when we are all of sin? You understand? Why is it that a pastor has to make the news when he literally pulled a knife out of his pocket midway while the kids was beating him up, yo. They was beating him up, man. He stopped, pulled a knife out of his pocket and gave it to one of the students to cut him. One student gave the knife to another student because they was afraid to cut him. And the student that tried to cut him barely cut him. They cut him on his back. And they beating him up, man. Literally beating him up. Why does it have to make the news? It's been stupid. We don't need... Okay, put it like this. Someone reenacting Yeshua dying for our sins is not going to get me saved. That's not going to get anyone saved, yo. Just read it. Just read it for what it is. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing the word of the Lord. Faith doesn't come in by seeing. If faith came by seeing, then we all would have got saved. The world would have got saved a long time ago when the Passion of Christ would have came out. The world would have got saved a long time ago when they had the movie of Yeshua or the movie of Moses a long time ago. But it's all whitewash anyway. He's not white. None of them are white. They came from Africa. Moses was confused with being an Ethiopian. We know what Ethiopians look like, and they're definitely not white. It's nothing to be offended over, but this is just mere fact. The world has just been lying for years. So what? Let's just talk truth. Let's just keep it real. Let's keep it 100. Man, why do we got to do this whole, you know what I mean, blasphemous Easter celebration, man? People are just so lost. You have these 501c3s that are going to be telling you this weekend about Easter Sunday. And then you got it tomorrow where the world is going crazy about Good Friday. Why are they calling it Good Friday? And why are they calling it Easter Sunday? You don't get 3 days from Friday to Sunday, man. Come on, let's just keep it real. The common sense is not so common after all. Like, they call it Good Friday, where he quote unquote died and was crucified on a cross, which is a lie. He was hung on a tree, just like they've been hanging us in the 50s and 40s and 30s and 20s and 1800s. That's how he was hung, but they don't want to talk about that. He literally suffocated. And while he was dying, he was talking while he was suffocating. Can you imagine being hung and still trying to talk? Talking to Peter on the cross and all this stuff. I mean, Peter being hung also on a tree. He wanted to be hung upside down. But we've been lied to for years, and we have to change our thought patterns. We have to come into this truth. He is not Caesar Borgia. He is not white. He never had blonde hair. He never had blue eyes. Man, let's get into the show. Not on the mainstream news here. Denver may become the first city to decriminalize psychedelic mushrooms. Denver is, I say from my perspective, they're going to be the first city in the United States to legalize drugs overall, because they have the upper hand. They're going from the marijuana, they're going to the shrooms next. Next thing you know, it's going to be ecstasy, it's going to be crack, cocaine, everything. I think they're going to be the new hippie city. They already have something where they're trying to infuse it with the foods and stuff like that. And once they bring it onto the menus and stuff, man, we're talking about a new Amsterdam. And then the other cities will soon follow the same suit. So again, we know that hypocrisy is at its worst. Over $700 million was raised overnight to rebuild the Notre Dame church. Despite the fact that the cathedral is still standing, and the Catholic Church is one of the wealthiest organizations in the world, with a net worth of over $30 billion, and then some. So, the Notre Dame they don't need your money, man. There's so many homeless people, homeless children that are living in France that could use that money. Our living room is a church. Your kitchen can be a church. Being at the job can be a church. Sitting by the lake can be a church, or by a river can be a church. Mother Earth itself is a church. So if people were going to this church and this church burned down, where do the people go to church now that your church is burned down? The Most High dwells not in the buildings made by man's hands, but in the hearts of those. He rather dwell in the hearts of those. When 2 or 3 are gathered together in his name, he dwells there in the midst. So a church is everywhere that we go. It could be on the sidewalk. It could be at CVS. It could be at Walgreens. It could be at Rite Aid. It could be at Chick-fil-A, Burger King, McDonald's, Six Flags, Disney. Wherever you go, church is where we are. But yet, we are here destroying our local environments daily, and nothing's being done. You have hundreds of species of animals that wandered this church for thousands of years and are on the brink of extinction. Like children are going to sleep on the streets on empty stomachs. And nobody is raising a dime for that. You have a church that's 800 years old or better, that has involvement with pedophilia, manipulation to the people, lying of the spiritual text. They're the nuns, like everybody is looking at the popes having sex with the boys. Well, who's looking at the nuns? Don't you think the nuns are having sex with the girls and abusing the boys and stuff like that? But it's just the pope. You have it where they're covering up the pedophilia ring with their own religion, and they could raise dang near $1 billion in 24 hours after it was likely to be set on fire on purpose. It's like, why should we be a part of this society that is embraced by the elite who enslaved, they rape, lied, and kill to get the positions that they are in today? You got that same church who killed women who they call witches, who we now call alchemists and spiritual beings, quote unquote. But yet you see these quote unquote spiritual people crying over a building burning down. To me, it was most likely an inside job. When you have all of these sacred, quote-unquote, statues being removed just a week prior to the fire. Come on, just coincidentally, it happens on a day that come on, man. Let's really put two and two together here. The whole world is mourning over a fire over some stupid building, man. Who cares, man? Who cares? Let it burn, man. Who cares? Who cares? There's people starving, man. Like, when you think about it, like, the building burned down the same day the Titanic sunk. The building burned down the same day the Titanic sunk. Boston Marathon. Abraham Lincoln's assassination. You know what I mean? Like income tax. I mean, it's just so much stuff that we could just talk about all day. About how this society is backwards. And how they do things just to create chaos. To get order out of chaos. Order de caio. Latin term from the 33rd degree Masons of their motto. They create the problem. They create the solution to their own problem after they get the reaction from the people. So it's problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem. As the people react, they create a solution to the problem. Where we have it, where the White House just said that they're gonna asset the aid of France. Meanwhile, the water in Flint is still brown. Need I say more? Today's show is called No Leaven. And it's important that we get into it really quick. So while it's in my thoughts here, I want to gather some notes, make sure I have everything just right, and we're going to get into it. So in the meanwhile, just let me take a break and get something to drink. I'll be back in just a moment. Don't change that dial. Real TV.
I'm pretty sure he has a fro.
Oh, fake Jew with your afro. You need to cut it. You got dreads. You need to cut it. You got a fro. You need to cut it. Your job application says that you need to be groomed. So go and get some scissors and go and get some clippers. Go and cut your hair, especially on the side. And go and get the broom and sweep it up. Yeah, keep it up. Keep dyeing your skin. Yeah, keep it up. Dark skin, yo, brown skin. Now you light skin. We like that. So keep it up. Yo, fake Jew. Yo, fake Jew. You a fake Jew. All y'all dark people fake Jews. You fake Jews. You a fake Jew. Fake Jew. You a fake Jew. With your wool hair and your brass feet, I'm so glad y'all was in chains. I'm so glad we put brass on your feet, and now y'all still love chains. Ha ha. I wanna laugh, but I'ma hold it back. Tongue in cheek. We own everything. Everything. Y'all don't need no reparations. Y'all don't need anything. Yo, fake Jew. You fake Jew. Yo, fake Jew with your afro. You fake Jew. And your dark skin. Yo, fake Jew. Good at sports. Dancing. Self. Yo, fake Jew. Yo, rhythm having. Self. Yo, fake Jew. We're from Africa. We know Cleopatra. Elizabeth Taylor. Yes, we know Cleopatra. We made Cleopatra. We made gods of Egypt. In fact, we are Egypt. Yeah, y'all was there building them pyramids. If that's true, hold up. See, there I go. Hold up, no. See, there you go. If black people built the pyramids, then that means that we the Hebrews. I'm a Hebrew. I'm a Hebrew. I'm not a fake Jew. I rep mine, and my hair not cut. My hair not cut. And my beard not cut. I got my blue. I keep my blue at the bottom. At the bottom. N15 38. Read that. Search that. Find that. N15 38. Yo, fake Jew with your wool hair and your brass skin. Yo, fake Jew. You a fake Jew. Oh, dread having self, you know, yo, fake Jew. Oh, nappy headed. Oh, nappy behind. Oh, nappy head looking. Fake Jew. Fake Jew. I'm not a fake Jew. I'm a Hebrew. I'm not a fake Jew. Yo, fake Jew. Dum 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 dum. And let's get into it. So, Exodus chapter 11. And the Lord said unto Moses, Yet I will bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards, he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of his people. And Moses said, Thus saith the Lord, about midnight I will go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all of the firstborn of beast. And there should be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And all these thy servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get thee out, and all the people that follow thee, and after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh. And the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land. I'm reading this to give you a preface of how special it was for us to leave the land of Egypt, and why we are celebrating a 7-day magnificent blessing of the Holy Passage. Exodus chapter 12. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male for the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep, from the goats. And you shall keep it unto the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take the blood and strike it on 2 side posts and the upper posts of their houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire. So you roast it on an open stove, an open fire, or a grill. And unleavened bread, that means bread with no yeast, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. So that gives you right there, the Most High is giving us a recipe with bitter herbs. He's saying, get a lamb, get you some unleavened bread, and get some bitter herbs. What are bitter herbs? Herbs like rosemary, thyme, sage, basil. Bitter herbs. He has a recipe. So just think, this is coming from heaven now. This is heavenly words from the Father. So this lets you know that he has taste, because bitter herbs go very well with lamb. Very, very well. Some people like to have a little mint jelly on the side. I've never tried it before, but it sounds good. You know, my blinds are open to that. It says, eat not of it raw or sodden at all with water. Okay, so that means how people like to have their meat pink in the inside. I like my meat a little pink. No. You don't eat it medium well. You don't eat it medium rare. You don't eat it medium. And you definitely don't eat it raw. You eat it well cooked. And sodden not at all with water. What does that mean? That means don't put it in a pot with a stew. So the Most High is telling you to cook it on the open fire. So don't be like, well, I don't want mine grilled. I don't want to cook my like that. I want to stew mine because they'll last longer. No. He said not sodden at all with water. So don't put it in the water with no carrots and potatoes and celery and all. No, that's not how we cooking it right now. Roast with fire. Roast with fire. So even though you can roast something in an oven, your oven does not have fire in it. It has electrical grids that heat like fire, but we're not going to roast it in an oven that doesn't have no fire. Now, if you have a pizza oven, like a brick pizza oven that could cook a pizza in like 2 to 5 minutes, that literally you got to load it with either charcoal or some type of wood, and then you have to take the pizza out with a wooden spoon, a spindle, if you will, then that's okay. But if you're just thinking about roasting your lamb in an oven, no, you roast with fire, okay? Head with his legs and with the pertinence thereof. So that means with everything. But since we don't have access to heads and legs of a lamb, or may not have the funds to get it, the Most High understands. So if you can't get a lamb with the head and the legs on it, you're all right. Just don't worry about it. Okay? Get what you can get, even if it's ground or if it's chops, if it's lamb ribs, if it's the shank or the leg or the thigh. Get what you can get. But you want to cook it on an open fire. And ye shall not let nothing of it remain until the morning. So basically, when we cook it, we gonna eat what you cook it. We eat what you can eat for that night. All right. So by the time the sun comes up in the next morning, you throw it away. So the passage is gonna start on the evening of tomorrow, when the sun goes down. That's when it starts. All right. We should be cooking it up, or should have dinner made by that evening, and then you eat and you feast all night. And by the time the sun comes up on the next day, you throw it out, okay? Read on. And that which remaineth of it until the morning shall ye burn with fire. So if you have anything remaining left over, you don't throw it in the trash. You don't put it in the bag. You put it back on the fire and you burn it. Burn it. Don't ask me why. Don't say how come. You just burn it. But that just goes to show you, if you cook too much, then you should have some type of guide on how much you're going to cook. If you know you can't eat that much lamb, then don't cook that much where you have to burn it. Just cook just enough where you're going to eat, where you can eat all of it. All right? It's very easy, very simple. And these are just simple tasks, just very simple and fun commandment. Once you get this down pat, it's nothing. It's really easy. No leaven. Okay? No unleavened bread. Really easy. Cook it on the open fire. Get some bitter herbs. Boom. And whatever side you want to make. Now, we're not talking about, don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about bacon and ham and shrimp and oysters and all. You know what we're talking about here. We don't eat that type of food. You eat some good sides. If you want to have rice, if you want to have potatoes or some type of salad or whatever, you decide how you want to do that. But if you just have enough for a lamb and bitter herbs and some unleavened, that's cool. All right. So let's see. Back to verse 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus ye shall eat it, with your loins girded, with your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. Ye shall eat it in a haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord, and the blood shall be for you a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread. even the first day, ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the seventh day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. So the commandment is simple. Now, we understand that when this plague passed, that they had to eat in a haste because judgment was going to be brought upon Egypt. So we don't necessarily have to be standing up with a bug out bag packed and some shoes or steel toed boots on and a stick in our hand up eating. See, during that time, we're getting a commandment, and then we're getting what happened in the past. What happened in the past at that time, they had to eat in a haste. They had to eat quickly. They had their bags packed, they had their shoes on, and they had their staff in the hand because they was going to be doing a lot of walking. So that's what that was about. But we don't have to eat like that. You can sit down and enjoy the meal. It says here that this day is a memorial for us and that we should keep it a feast. So it is a feast that we should keep throughout our generations. Not practicing standing up with our shoes on with our loins girded. That description was what they went through in the past. Now he's telling us that this feast is a memorial. So no unleavened bread. The first day. Okay. So starting tomorrow or starting midnight, you can start at midnight. You throw all the yeast out of your house. Crackers, biscuits, bread, cookies, chips. You look at everything in detail. Yeast itself, beer. If you got beer in your house, throw it out. You know what I mean? Just keep in mind that you need to read every instruction carefully. When in doubt, throw it out. From pancake mix, to even look at granola bars. Maybe look at if you're drinking Ensure Boost, check that out. Also, okay. All right. So this is very simple. If you want to be more righteous, then this is a very simple task for you to do. The Most High is testing you to see if you can just do something so simple. And it's not even this is a blessing to do. He's basically saying, hey, look, y'all have a cookout and enjoy your time. Let's check out the rest. And the first day there should be a holy convocation. And in the seventh day there should be a holy convocation to you. No matter of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. So that means you shouldn't be working during this time. I've taken off for this special moment, and this is my first year taking off. And I'm very happy to celebrate this time. Now, if you weren't able to get the days off, I'm not telling you to quit your job. You know, I'll leave that up to you. But I'm not telling you to quit your job, you know. The Most High knows your intentions. He knows what you want to do. Just stay prayed up and do to the best of your ability. Just make this what it should be. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this self same day I have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall observe this day in your generations by our ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, so in the evening ye shall eat unleavened bread, until the 20th day of the month at evening. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses, for whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether it be a stranger or born in a land. So there we have it. It's very simple. You shall not eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations ye shall eat unleavened bread. And it goes on a little bit further. You can read the rest on your own time. I just want to give you a quick outline of what's what. And just so you can get an idea when it says celebrate this month, maybe a question like, what month? How do you know for sure it's this month? Well, let's get some precepts here. We know here that in Exodus 12:1, it reads, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, okay, when you go down to verse 3, on the 10th day of this month, they shall take every man a lamb. Okay, all right. First month. Let's go down. All right. Okay. Exodus chapter 13, verse 4. This came ye out of the month Abib. Abib in Hebrew, which is spelled Abib, means April, the month of April. Okay. Exodus 23, chapter 15. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month Abib. For in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. Okay? Exodus chapter 34, verse 18. The feast of unleavened bread thou shalt keep. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, as I commanded thee in the time of the month Abib. For in the month Abib thou camest out from Egypt. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy Elohim. For in the month Abib the Lord thy heavenly Father brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. So here we have it again. Those are our precepts. The Egyptian pyramids are on the back of the dollar bill. We built those pyramids. And every day we are reminded each time we make a dollar. We should be reminded that we're living in this paganistic Babylonian America. And we are at the 400-year mark, which is a blessing. Not only that, but this year, if this is your first time celebrating it, whether it's your first or your second or third or beyond, it is a celebration of happiness and joy. We like to cook out anyways. Black people like to barbecue. Strangers like to barbecue. Strangers are those who are not of the 12 tribe and who are not Judah. That's what stranger means. Strangers are Gentiles. Strangers are those who are not of the 12 tribe. So that means Asian, white, Indian, etc. You're considered strangers. All right? So even strangers can be a part of this. All right, let's read a little bit more. So even Yeshua celebrated Passover. And there were certain things that happened around Passover that are very, very important and that you should know. One of them is in John chapter 13, and we're going to finish up. John chapter 13, verse 1. Now before the feast of Passover, let's read that one more time. Now before the feast of the Passover, you hear that? Now before the feast of Passover, when Yeshua knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. And the supper being ended, the devil, having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Boom, there you go right there. So Yeshua celebrated the feast of Passover. He didn't celebrate Easter. Understand that you cannot get 3 days from Easter. Let's count it off. You got Good Friday, where he was quote unquote hung from a tree. Let's count off the days. Saturday, Sunday. That's only 2 days. How do you get 3 days? The scripture says that he rose from the dead in 3 days, not 2. So somebody's lying to you. So if you're celebrating Easter, you better take your clothes back. I hope you got your receipt. Don't eat no cakes. Don't eat no hot cross buns. Don't eat no leaven, because they're lying to you. Your church is a 501c3. It's Masonic. If that church don't lie to you, they don't get paid. Let me go on because I'm getting pissed off, man. You see it right here. Let's read it again. Now, before the feast of Passover, when Yeshua knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world into the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. He ate Passover dinner. And the Heavenly Father was so graceful and merciless. Was so full of grace and mercy that he allowed Yeshua to eat Passover. Man, isn't that a blessing? Who knows what can happen? Who knows, like, if we do this right, what can happen in the world? What can happen in our lives? What can happen right after we eat? But what isn't that a beautiful thing? If something was to happen to us, or we were to be tempted, that we're able to make this a beautiful celebration. Verse 4, it says, he riseth from supper and laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself. Man, it goes on to read so much more, but he finished. He finished, and supper being ended. Okay, he riseth from supper. So that means he got up from the table. That lets you know that goes back to the precept. You remember we read a precept earlier. It says that they girded their loins and they had their shoes on and they ate with the haste. Nah, we don't have to put our shoes on and get a bag. You got these, what they call it? Ninja purple turtles, yo. You got these people that are dressed like Master Splinter. What is it called? Those Hebrew, the wannabe Hebrew Israelites who got it all wrong. Who got on, they got on wristbands and headbands and black pants and black boots. Hey, yes, go ahead. Rehead. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Oh, my goodness. We don't have to stand up. I seen videos of these guys standing up eating, literally with the staff in their hand, boots, shoes. You know what I mean? You don't eat it says that he riseth from supper. That means if he riseth from supper, he was sitting down, obviously, right? Come on. All right, let's finish up. Today's show is called No Leaven. No Leaven. And as we move on into this Passover, we're gonna have some fun time. I got some shows that I want to do. I got some praise songs that I want to do. I'm thinking about FTA Part 3, Freestyle the Album Part 3. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'll do it in this time. I just let the Spirit move how it's going to move. I don't know if I should do video shows or if I should do read some scriptures. Well, whatever it is, I'm going to let the Spirit lead. And we'll just do what it do and let it do it like that. So here we have it in Matthew chapter 4. Matthew chapter 4. I want to say verse 1. Let me double check here. Let's try Matthew chapter 2. No, not Matthew chapter 2. Let's check 3. Matthew 3, KJV. Okay, we're running over an hour, but that's all right. Y'all all right? Okay. All right, maybe it is Matthew 4. In so many words here, you will be tempted. You will be tempted, that is for sure. Because you always want what you can't have for the most part. It's when you don't want pizza is when you want it. When you can't have a burger is when you want it. You got people who are on certain diets trying to stay away from sodas and sugars. And every time they try, they have cravings. Whether it's getting off of nicotine, coffee, candy, sex, whatever it may be, temptation will definitely kick in. So you want to be mindful of that. And here's something to give you a little strength. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1. Then Yeshua was led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, the tempter, if thou be the Son of Yah, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High. So not only is this Passover going to be a celebration for us and a feast, a memorial for us, but it's important that we get something other than food. We should get a food for our soul, even though the food comforts our soul literally, but we should also get something to tag that, something to complement that. So it's important that we should get into some scripture and we eat and we have fun with it. But not only that, even Satan commanded Yeshua to turn a stone made of bread. How much more is he going to convince you to turn that flour with some yeast? Man, you don't want no pancake. A pancake is not going to hurt you. Just one. Or just go ahead and make biscuits. Biscuits, that won't help. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and make a biscuit. Oh, come on. You're not going to eat the chips. I know it has yeast. You can eat the yeast outside of the house. What's wrong? Matter of fact, just take all the yeast out of your house, and then you could just eat pancakes outside of your house. You go to IHOP in the morning for breakfast. That's what Satan is. You see how deceptive things can be? No yeast. No yeast whistle period. It's only 7 days. You will be tested. And you can make it through. That's that. I hope there's no more questions about no leaven. And I hope that it was just as plain as it could be. There's more shows to come. But if you do have any other questions, you should listen to
Q&A.
One love.
We got another one. And I've got a lot of questions. I mean, I have some of the answers, but I've got questions and I need answers. I'm gonna do this in one take. Here we go. How you tell me you straight, but your mood ain't right? How did we make it to the moon when the moon is light? Somebody lying. Somebody tell me why. I know why. 'Cause they're afraid of light. If the whole world knew the truth, the whole world would cry. Yes, the whole world would fight. And then pop goes a weasel. It'll look like 4th of July. It'll look like World War III. It'll look like 4th of July. Potato and patata. Tomato and tomato. Some people say his name Jesus. And the devil wears Prada. Well, I say nada. I call him by his proper. Yah is the Father. And yes, I know Yahweh. Life is just a snack. Just wait until the entree. You'll find yourself, and yourself will be found. Admire who you are. Don't be frowned. If you live this life right, you'll get a white gown. So smile. Hold up. Tell me this. Why do people think that they're so invincible? They'll walk by you, can't say hi like you're invisible. Then they act like they made a pact with the devil. Then act so mystical and so whimsical, like money is not dispensable. It's not typical to be that difficult, like you're in a cult. So carry your little behind over there, back in the yard, acting like you a dog, unless you want to spar. You are not a god, so why you acting hard? And no, I didn't check organ donor on my identification card. Alright, what's up with the moon? Why the sky blue? Is the world round? Is the world flat? Who's the real Jew? And why my skin black? Who's the real you? Ask yourself that. What's up with the moon? Why the sky blue? Is the world round? Is the world flat? Who's the real Jew? Why my skin black? Who's the real you? Ask yourself that. What's up with the android? What's up with the humanoid? What's up with Siri? Why she acting all serious? Like she got her own voice. What's up with the government? Why they always trying to cover... Real TV.